And yeah, kids, that's how I met your mother.
Wow, I knew you were going to do something
Yeah.
very goofy.
Anyway, yeah, but we had gone through so much practicing and everything, and I knew that she was definitely amazing at what she did. And obviously, I didn't know what she did on the Thailand night, but I knew that she was definitely everything that they needed. So I hear that she has not made it to the next round, and immediately I lose it. I just go to the back, because I didn't hear her name, and I find her, and she's there quietly, and I'm like, yo, no, that's wrong. And this is what she told me. He said, no, Tom, don't worry. The judges know what they're doing. It's really fine. It's been a great experience so far. They know what they're doing. And in that second, as pissed as and as angry as I was, I realized the kind of person that you were. And I feel like it was so important that that thing happened, because it's in moments like that you really see who a person is. She didn't even feel entitled, even though she deserved to have a spot in the next round. But in that moment, wow. And luckily, one of the trainers now came and said, oh, wait, what? No, that's a mistake. Yeah. So at that point, I was so relieved that, yes, she's still here. But luckily, that happened because I was able to see the kind of person she was. And we were still kept as a pair. So now,
so
since
a lot of people were, reshifted because so many people fell through during the prejudging, right? But then, I was really afraid that they're going to put me with someone else, and I was so comfortable walking the walk with Tom. But it was so cool because they were like, you guys will just continue into finale. And I was like, yes, I was so happy.
Yeah.
And at this point, I think we were now starting to slowly realize what we were actually doing in our personal lives.
Yeah.
Because we were chilling a lot more than we used to. So we got to know each other a bit more in the process.
Yeah, I think this is now the period where we started to really, sorry, it's a fly. This is now the period where, we got to kind of understand on a deeper level who we were dealing with, you know? And I think this is really where our friendship started to solidify.
And then we won together. And it's not like they pick a pair to win, they pick individuals to win. So first they called him, this is a finale, and they called him, and I was so happy. And I remember the next thing I was thinking is, oh my God, now the next is a Miss CSIU title. And honestly, I swear to you, I was so happy at that moment, even if they didn't call my name. Because by then they had given the titles to everyone, and I think we were just 2 or 3 people who didn't have a title. So it's either that you win the Miss CSIU title or you just don't. You don't have any title to you. But I was so satisfied with how far I had come, because by this time, I had regained my confidence. I had regained the sense of who Kalpa is, the power I bring to this competition, my own angle to it, And I was so happy to be like, it's cool, I'll go home and I'm set for the next 1 year of my uni life. But then they called my name. And I can't tell you how happy he was, because remember.
There's a picture when they called. I was just there, and I had
he
this
looked so
smile on my face.
Relieved. He was like,
yes.
Yes.
Because, at that point, it's, when you see how hard we had worked for it, I can't explain the happiness, It's like you've seen how hard all those nights we had put in, and even just coming with our backstory of why we wanted to do this, and also me understanding and getting to know who you were. And no one deserved that title more than you, And so for me, at that point, it was just like, oh, man, wow. It was a beautiful moment. I was so happy.
Yeah, so we won together, and then we got into this new phase of our life where we'd spend the next 1 year being ambassadors for the university together. So we got to know
Mr. and Miss.
Yeah, more and more about each other. We did more modeling shows together, like Samantha Bridal Wedding.
And sorry, before we move on, just to put it in context, because maybe you're watching this video, you have no idea. It was kind of a big deal. It's kind of like the equivalent of being a prom king,
Yes,
prom
that's what
queen,
it's like. Yes.
but now on a university level. So all of a sudden, you're in the public eye.
Yeah.
Everyone starts to know you. You become a part of everyone's conversation, at least for those who knew what was going on. And it was a beautiful thing because now we were exposed to people, and we started to, even newer friendships formed in this era. And it was a very, very interesting. So yeah, point is, it was
What do you have to do?
it was a big deal. We were popping.
So we did interviews together, we did modeling shows together, and all of a sudden I was a model now. Never did I realize I would ever be a model.
Funny thing, Samantha Bridals, which she talked about. So this was our first official modeling gig. It was a bridal modeling gig, and we were both, again, paired together.
Yes.
Wearing a wedding dress.
Yeah.
And a tuxedo. Can you think? Just think about that for a second.
Yeah.
We should
put pictures for them.
We tried on so many different wedding outfits, and we walked down the runway with each other.
Yeah, and 2 times. Those were 2 times.
2 times.
In 1 year.
February and in July.
Yeah, and these are like 2 days shows that go on from
3
morning.
days.
3 days.
3 day shows.
From morning to evening. And at this point, I was starting to have like this humongous crush for Tom. I think it had translated from friendship to a crush, but I didn't know I was going through that annoying crush phase, because I was really scared to like bring it to surface and be like, it's a crush culpa, because I used to hang out so much with him and I didn't want to make it awkward. And we were doing so well. I was like, don't throw a spanner in this thing. Don't say you have a crush on him. But looking back, I really did have a crush on him because he was so amazing, just how he would handle himself. All of a sudden, he's in the limelight, but he didn't change. He was just the same old Tom, even more careful with how he's doing things because he knows he's a public figure in the university now. And just his entire character coming out and his level of integrity, the way he treats people. Oh my gosh, I was like, this man is a gem. And yeah, so I think I had a crush on him, but I just didn't know I was having a crush on him. I was being such a girl. And I think the Samantha bridal show even brought it more because I was in this bridal outfit and he was in the tuxedo.
Yeah.
And we would walk together and hold hands like this and everything.
And what's interesting is that around this time we were both in relationships.
Yeah.
We were both,
Which was crumbling apart, like at least mine was.
Yeah, both were in some sense, And it was just amazing because this was another big thing we did together. And yeah, I can't explain it, but when you're doing such a shoot, especially if you're a model, and it's like you're an actor, right? But in those moments, you just can't help but think like, what if this happened, Especially if you're walking down the aisle with somebody that's beautiful and you do it how many times? Not the aisle, the runway, And we'll come there, she's wearing a dress, she spins around, we go there, it was a lot to take in. And yeah, I think these seeds are just being, they're just these memories and like,
Yeah.
What if this was?
And then slowly the family started to get involved. So my parents would come for the Samantha bridal show.
Yeah.
His parents would come, his siblings would come. So, it started to become more wholesome. Like it's not just Tom that I know. I've had a glimpse of his mom, his dad, his sister. Yeah. And I think slowly the dots were starting to connect for me. And then, we were almost ending our 1-year term. And it was starting to get...
This was in 2015. This was now around 2016. So the title, we got it in 2015.
Yeah.
So this is now 2016, yes. Yeah.
It was 2015?
It was 2015.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at the years. I thought it was 2016. Anyway, so we were almost finishing our active term of being Mr. and Miss. And so we were going to hand over our title to a new, partnership. So Tom goes on to do another pageant, which normally a lot of first title holders can do. It's now the Mr. University title.
Okay, yeah. So Mr. University, again, another pageant, just to explain. All the Mr. and Mrs. of different universities come together for like now a grand Mr. and Mrs. Kind of like Champions League. I, but yeah, it's for a very, very good cause. There's a lot of obviously CSR and just community related things. So at first I was skeptical, but luckily during Samantha Bridals, we met a lot of guys from these various universities. So we already knew these guys. So like, you know what, hey, let's just see. And I think that moment I committed, and yeah, I had started it. So
yeah, so he had started this pageant. I chose not to do it. So we were just supporting him, full on support for Tom to win this thing. And I had no doubt that he's going to bag it, because he's got, his talent was on point, and his walk was on point. All the pageant nitty-gritties were all there. So I was really excited for him, but a part of me was just like, oh my God, is this where this ends? Everything between me and Tom, whatever it may be at this point, which was just friendship. Is this where it ends? After we give our titles, there's no reason for us to hang out. We're not doing events. We're not planning events. I go my way and he goes his way. So as much as I was really rooting for him, I was like, someone else is going to get the Miss University title and become his new Miss and would take like my place. So I was like, oh man, I don't know what's going to happen next. So I was a bit off about it, but still, like, we were rooting for him. And so he won. End of the story. He won again. And that day was when we had like a major milestone in what we were going to be.
Yeah.
You want to say? Okay, well,
so
let me
move. Okay.
Okay.
Because I think now, from the time that we won the title and we were even handing over, we had become closer, we had done more events, and we had spent a lot of time together. And so during the whole Miss University period, there were instances where I would have conversations with friends, some of them, Melissa, Clara, and they would ask me questions like, why aren't you with Kalpa, And there were a number of moments I had like that, where I didn't understand why guys were asking me. It's like everyone saw us as a thing except us. And in those moments, it's like seeds were being planted. And all of a sudden, it was like a veil was removed from my eyes. And I realized that, wow, every single thing I have ever prayed about to find, in like a serious relationship, like forget like cosmetic things. You look nice, I look nice, let's be together. No, everything that you'd pray, I'd prayed of something real, like, wow, she just fits, she fits the template, and it was in those moments that I started to realize, and so funny enough, on that day for Mr. University, it was stronger in my heart, and I knew that, yeah, I am actually deeply going crazy for this woman over here. So
yeah.
I remember when we won, I think this also...
No, let me say my bit.
Okay.
So these guys were on stage and he wins, okay? And then we are in the audience. His family is on this side. The rest of the former pageant team is here supporting him. Everyone runs up to the stage and I don't. Like, I just sit there stunned because I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen next. And all the fears that I was like pushing down resurfaced the moment I saw the Miss Universe to get her crown. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the same replica of what happened to us. Like, does whatever we went through even, does it hold any significance at this point? So then my friend comes and she starts dragging me up and she's like, come, you idiot, why are you sitting over here? Come, let's get your... So I go up to the stage and he goes and hugs everyone. He hugs everyone and I'm just there in the corner like feeling so bad because he's not hugging me. He even hugs my friend next to me, this other friend next to me, and he doesn't hug me. And I was like, it's starting, all this is starting, everything I feared. So I was really nervous. And then, I was walking away from the stage and my friend Sandra's like, you're such an idiot. Don't you realize he wants to hug you last? And I was like, what? This is really filmy. Like, I don't think that's what's happening. I think he's so excited. He doesn't know he's actually missed hugging me. She's like, no, just wait. And then, fine. No, do you want to now say?
So, I had seen her, but at this point, I knew where my heart was. And I knew that I wanted the last person I hugged to be her. because I wanted that moment to, be a moment and not just move on to, so
Yeah,
I
so
had seen
finally.
her and I hugged her, and it was a very special hug. I can't explain it. It's like one of those things where it's like a part of us both knew
Yeah.
in that moment what was happening, and we were just so happy for the journey and everything. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I mean, the hug was like, it just said so much. It said everything I feared was nonsense. And I remember I planted a kiss right here.
That you planted a kiss.
Yeah, right
wow,
here.
she planted a kiss. She's a farmer.
Right here, because I was so happy he won. And then he walked around. I didn't even tell him that my red lipstick was here all along. But I just wanted everyone to know there that my red lipstick was
what she planted.
What I planted. And yeah, I think it was such a special night because we didn't say anything to each other, but we, in a way, did.
We did.
Yeah, so after all that, and a lot of the credit actually goes to our friends. In my case, my closest friends, Daisy and Sandra, always nudging me to see what I was feeling, regardless of how I was lying to myself that I wasn't feeling it.
Okay, for me, I think how I would put this is, around this time I wasn't seeing it, and I think also at some point I was a bit confused, but I feel like just in such an amazing way, all the people who were around, our friends and everything, just in one way or another, it's like God was just opening like this glimpse here and made me realize what was going on. So even people who didn't think they were actually opening my eyes, indirectly they probably helped, and but then after that day, what happened? I think I can take over from here. So I was going to the studio to record something with a friend of mine, Daisy. And so we hit the studio, and I decided that, this is the day that I'm going to go and, tell Kalpa how I really feel. Understand, we've not said anything till this point. All this time it's just been, silence.
It's just like an
hugs.
old movie.
Exactly, a very decent old 60s love story.
Yes.
And I planned that, once I finished in the studio, like going to the studio that day, that's all I could think about. And that's when I realized that, wow, there were all those butterflies and things, and I felt so nervous, because obviously you know that this is where we're at, but we had not said anything, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't leave that day without establishing what was really happening. And so, we went to the studio. When we finished, on the way back, I passed by where she was staying.
I mean, all this time he had already told me that, he's going to pass by. And I was just freaking out because I was staying in a hostel at that time, which was like this small of a room. And I was like, I don't want him to come to this really small room and like judge me for staying in such a small place. I have such irrational fears sometimes. And so I started cleaning the house and like making it look all nice and pretty. And I didn't know what it was going to happen. I somehow, a part of me thought he's going to come and tell me, listen, I know how you've been feeling, but then I don't feel the same because I feel this for someone else. I was running both best case scenario and worst case scenario. Yeah. And my friend who was with him then was texting me and saying, he looks nervous. Look at this boy. He's hiding his phone from me so that I don't see he's texting you. I have such intrusive friends. So she was like, be prepared. He's coming to the house. I can see he's now taken the Buddha to the hostel.
Yeah, so I head to hostel and long story short, sat down and I told her how I felt, and in that moment we went from being just friends to an actual couple.
Yeah.
And I think for me, look at us now, 4 years later. 4 years later in a proposal. See where we are.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I wanted to bring out is that I think why I'm happy we're sharing this story is that a lot of times I feel like in the past I expected, or we all dream of our love story being like things that we saw in movies and everything. And I think for me the biggest lesson is how I see it is that it was the moment when we both decided to focus on ourselves and do, just go get out there, and be the best versions of ourselves, that we found each other. We were in the same building for the longest time, and I guess also because of the things we were going through, we were probably not in the right emotional state to eventually even meet each other at the time. But how is it? It's so interesting that the moment that we decided to focus on us, our dreams, our mental health, our happiness, and we took those journeys, we were just both there side by side, and we found each other.
Yeah.
And even when we found each other, it was not like, boy meets girl and oh my God, and then something happens. No, we were friends for a whole year. I didn't try to impress you about anything.
Yeah.
You didn't try to impress me. You were yourself with me.
Yeah.
And we got to understand each other, and we were able to see each other's character. And it's the same way when you're outside. You can't really tell when it's getting dark, but as time goes on, you realize that, oh my God, it's actually dark. What am I doing here? You can't say the moment when the clouds are actually getting darker or the sun is changing its tone, but you reach a point where you realize it's dark. And I think for me, what this story just showed me is how really love is. It's like it was like the sun, it was shining all this time and we didn't know. And all of a sudden, through our friendship, through the story, through our journey, through understanding each other's character and all of this, we reached a point where we realized that, oh my God, wow, it was here all along.
Yeah.
And yeah, kids, that's how I met your mother.
Wow. I knew you were going to do something
yeah.
very goofy. Yeah, for me, I think, it's just realizing God always has a plan for us. When he felt misplaced in this university doing what he was doing and I felt misplaced, imagine if you had gone to Canada and I had gone to Malaysia. Nothing. Like, we wouldn't have met each other, wouldn't have had this amazing thing. And that was, I think for me, that was God's way of, joining us.
Yeah.
So if you're in a place like we were, trust the process.
Trust the
just
process.
Sometimes when it's beyond, you're not able to do something, just trust the process, leave it to God. 4 years down the line, something is going to happen.
Something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very special story. Obviously, not just because it's mine. Well, yeah, because it's mine, but it's a special story because I think for me, it taught me really what love can be, that it doesn't have to be an overnight attraction. It can be something that builds, but the most important thing is the foundation. And you guys have heard where it all started, from that message about changing the world. I'm so proud of the journey. A lot of times, you can look back at how you got here and you'll be like, I wish I didn't do this. But no, I'm happy about everything that led here. And so, yeah, that is the story.
Yeah, so
That's how we
finally
came.
you have it.
And that was your ring.
I forgot to wear it.
Yeah, just in case you're here for the first time, she's engaged to me.
I'm supposed to be wearing
yeah.
a ring, which I've forgotten.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's here.
It's
right
here.
here.
So
Yeah.
that is that.
That's that. Let us know what you think about the story.
This was fun.
And, also just tell us if you have your own story. It would be fun to hear that side as well.
And I think also, just like a parting shot, I know we are Chennai to Lagos, and I think at the back of it all, yes, we want to be advocates for people who are like us. But it's not just about the whole brown-black thing. I think what we're trying to do is bigger than that. It's about how love can meet you in areas you didn't think could find you, and whether it's culturally, so it's bigger than just the whole brown-black narrative. And I think, if anything, what somebody can take from this thing is that, just as you said, trust the process. And when you focus on your thing, giving your goals, your dreams, your all, you'll be in a better position to find the person God has put for you. So yeah, man, that's that.
Yeah. Awesome.
I feel like we gave birth to a baby. I've not talked about the story at all, This is actually my first time speaking about this thing.
Yeah, it's really cool to see it come together.
Yeah, because anytime we talk about it, it's just, you always
We're
ask
always
me
arguing
questions.
because
about what happened first.
Our timelines are so skewed.
Yeah, so.
But yes, that's our story. And there's more to come, of course.
Yes.
But we're very grateful that we're here. We're grateful we went through that journey. And honestly, I think I was placed in that particular university. I was placed to do that particular pageant just so I could meet my future husband.
Facts.
Same
thing. That's why we had to stay back.
Yeah.
That's why we had to face that. Yeah.
So yes, sending love to everyone watching this and hoping that you also find your love if you haven't already.
Yes.
Even if you feel misplaced, in that misplacement you find your love. And yeah, be happy.
Awesome. This is lovely.
Yeah.
So guys, thank you as always, and please like, subscribe. You can click that notification bell so you can keep up with us. More stuff to come, and yeah.
Let us know if you have any particular topics you would...
questions, this, that. Yeah, we're very open to giving you guys what you want. So
yeah. All right.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Bye-bye from
Peace
C2L.
out. C2L. Take care. See you.
Me and Papa, we were wondering if you could call our mom.
Oh, okay. Your mom is on the way back.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Oh, are you guys doing some kind of movie?
No, we're about to record a video.
Oh.
Video.
Okay, bye.
Alright, bye. See you.